very important to know that folks make that effort. What are some things that viewers could do now to be involved with Donate Life? I think you said they have a website, Donate Life SC.
Donate Life has a website, donatesc.com.
Right.
You can get some information there. It's very easy to become. You can download an application and donor card.
Okay.
It's very easy to do that right now. But the most important thing is to tell your family, because even if you have on your driver's license that you want to be a donor, the family still has to approve, and so it's very important that you make your feelings and wishes known to your family, so that it makes it easier on them to make those decisions at a very bad time in their life.
For viewers who may not understand the significance of the liver, how long could you have gone when you found out you needed to have a liver transplant? Would he not be too melancholy early on a Friday morning, but how long could you have gone without that transplant?
Not very long.
Exactly.
It had been a year and a half since I found out that I had a problem, and I was getting very weak, and I continued to work, but it was very difficult, and so I know that it wouldn't have been long.
Yeah.
The thing about it is so many people that don't know about organ donation, that don't become donors. There's on average 18 people a day that die at South Carolina waiting for a liver transplant.
Just in South Carolina?
Yes.
Waiting just for a liver transplant?
I'm sorry, some type of transplant.
Right.
Some organ transplant.
Wow, 18 people a day that'll die because they need an organ and they can't get it. But obviously there's a lot more deaths, as you say. There's just a lot more deaths that if they had checked off, I guess it's a little more than just checking off a box. If they told their family and checked off a box, they could make that their vital organs available to someone else.
That's right, and it can help many people, not just one or two.
Right.
And one thing that our local senator, Senator Luke Rankin, proposed last year was changing the laws where organ donation is an opt-out instead of an opt-in, and that, I think, in of itself will make donors, families aware of their wishes, and it will produce more people that will be donors.
And that can be done state to state, that opting out versus opting in.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful.
From what I understand, that's the way it's done in some European countries, and it's the bottom line is it saves lives, and that's what we need to think about.
Sure, and I'm sure they still make an effort. The doctors, the folks, even though that person is lost, they still make an effort to, after they've removed the critical organs, to sew the person back up, even though they're going to go to the grave. I mean, oftentimes I'm sure a lot of families are worried that, my loved one will be ripped apart, and it's really not that. It's the professionals are very, very safe in all the handlings, even though the person's gone or is about to go. They still recreate them as much as possible or put them back together.
That's right. It doesn't interfere with the funeral arrangements, and the important thing for people to realize that nothing happens without the family's consent. Nothing comes in and nothing is done without their agreement.
That is very important. DonateLifeSC.com. Viewers can go online to DonateLifeSC.com to download the form there, to be able to make sure that it's very clear that they are, whether or not the legislation that Senator Rankin has proposed is successful or not. There's still an opportunity to go in there, hopefully it will be, still an opportunity to go in there to fill that out and to make sure their family knows.
That's correct.
You travel all around the area. I saw in a recent piece you travel all around speaking about this. How do you normally open up? How does it, is it just the personal connection yourself that really gets to kids or to other adults that you're speaking to? Is it that idea of, had it been much longer?
Yeah, that helps in making it real to them. Organ donation is something that just isn't talked about very much, so you don't want to make it depressing,
right.
but you have to be honest, and being able to tell my story and draw their interest in helps make the point, I think. And I certainly would not be here today if it were not for that. And there's many people that were fortunate enough to get transplantation and really a new lease on life.
Right.
And so we just need to move that forward and have more and more people realize that they can help. And hopefully everyone lives a long, healthy life, but we never know. And it's always good to help someone.
Will you be able to, will that girl's liver be able to be passed on even again, possibly? You may not have even thought about it.
I haven't thought about that, but
whether or not, I mean, you could have an impact on someone else who's in your same situation, particularly since she was an 18-year-old. To think, not to date you, but let's say you went in 30 or 40 years, she'd still be would be a 50-some-year-old body or a 60-year-old liver there that could impact someone else.
Absolutely, and I do when I talk to groups about this. Some of the older people always make the comment, "Well, I'm so old, nobody wants my organs." But believe me, that's not the case, and they can always be used. And
that's great.
And so they need to keep that in mind as well.
That's great. Those are great words, Woody. Well, we just got about 5 minutes, and as I look down the piece about you, I don't know how many positions you have as either president or chairman of a board, and how many. You've been the Hotelier of the Year, not only in Myrtle Beach, but the South Carolina Hotelier of the Year just a few years ago. Obviously, the Volunteer of the Year from the Myrtle Beach Area Hospitality Association a decade ago. Award after award, but also position after position. How do you find the time to get out there? Obviously, R.L. Jordan and Jordan Properties are very supportive of your role of really stepping up and making a commitment to the community, but this is going to pay off. It's going to pay off for not only for the Myrtle Beach area, but also for y'all. Absolutely.
It helps our business, but the Jordans are very supportive. They believe in giving back to the community, and Myrtle Beach has been very good to me, and I feel it's my duty to give back and help in any manner that I can.
Mm-hmm. As we think about, I think you said you arrived here in 1975, over 32 years. What are some of the things that stick out in your mind, Woody, of some of the change, some of the progress in the area over the last 30-plus years?
Well, when I came down in 75, it was a very short season. And the day after Labor Day, all the traffic lights on Ocean Boulevard went on caution.
Now, I hear that all the time. Is it real? Does that really happen?
Absolutely.
I can't
the day after.
fathom it.
And there was just nothing to do until Easter the next year. And so you really had a part-time job. And those are kind of the good years. It was enjoyable, but it's different now. And back then, the people who worked in the hotels, of course, they were out of the job then. And we've been trying to make this a year-round resort for a long time, and now things are moving to make it that way. And personally, I think, everybody talks about developing in Myrtle Beach and all the things that are going on, but I think it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Really?
Myrtle Beach is just now getting that name recognition nationwide, and I think, as they say, you ain't seen nothing yet. So.
Right. So oftentimes we'd travel and folks would say, is that in North Carolina or Florida? Couldn't be in South Carolina. It was just, where's Myrtle Beach? What part of Florida is that? And you're right. I mean, clearly, even in Seattle now, folks are recognizing Myrtle Beach is not only in South Carolina, but it's a centerpiece of the state.
That's right. And we are getting known as where we are, and things like Hard Rock Theme Park coming in will certainly get our name out there more and get us more recognition. That's what it's all about. Aside from your role as president of the Myrtle Beach Marketing Cooperative, clearly that great partnership with the Myrtle Beach Area Hospitality Association and the South Carolina Hospitality Association, along with the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce of just a couple of years ago, how has that gone, Woody? It's gone well. It was a big undertaking. The first of its kind, I saw in one of the stories. First of its kind in the country. Right, in America. Yeah. Wow. So it's going very well. It's always better when you can pull together and work together. Right. And we found that time after time we were duplicating services, duplicating efforts, and duplicating dues. And so Myrtle Beach has always been known as a place that people can come together and work together to accomplish something. I don't think that there's any place in the country that would undertake something like the Myrtle Beach Marketing Co-op because it's on a volunteer basis, primarily a volunteer basis. And it's hard to do that in a lot of areas. But Myrtle Beach, back when Golf Holiday got started, that's how that came about. The people here know how to work together to get a job done.
And you see the future of the Myrtle Beach Marketing Cooperative much like the 30, 40-year plus future, past of Myrtle Beach Golf Holiday?
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to be around a long time?
I think it'll be around for a long, long time.
That's great. Those are great words. Woody, thanks so much for being with us this morning. I'm sorry we've run out of time.
Well, thank you. I've enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Woody Crosby, the president and CEO of Jordan Properties and the president of the Myrtle Beach Marketing Cooperative, coming up next. Not to take anything away from these amazing groups that Woody's involved in as either the president or the chairman, whether it's Myrtle Beach Golf Holiday or the Tea Time Network or, of course, the Hospitality Association of South Carolina, even the Myrtle Beach Marketing Cooperative and their amazing goal of going from 13 million visitors to 20 million visitors every year down here, whether it's 5 years or 3 years or even 6 years out. Their goals are pure, but if you've been sitting here, the real focus for me, and I think hopefully for you, DonateLifeSC.com. DonateLifeSC. Think of that call that he gets from a doctor. Think of that call saying, you know those tests we did, Woody? Sorry, take a second, think about it. Those tests have proved positive. Liver, you need a liver. The transplant there. Think of the tragedy of a loved one, of parents losing their 18-year-old daughter and knowing that something good's going to come out of that. Something good's just like Dr. Remington was talking about early in the week, that idea of something good over time will come out of the loss of a loved one. It was recognized here in the same scenario when the liver transplant call came. Take a look online, DonateLifeSC.com. Reflect on the last 20 minutes here and on someone's life being saved so that he could work for groups like the Myrtle Beach Marketing Cooperative and loved ones around him to make a difference and hopefully someday to pass on that 18-year-old's liver to someone else.